What's another word for me? All right, you tell me when we're going, and
wait till the first person hops on.
all right, are we live?
We
Are we
are
live,
live.
Maggie?
We
Okay.
are live.
Well, I just heard a beep, so I know we're live.
There we go.
All right, well, welcome everybody.
Steve's watching.
Oh, hi, Steve. Gosh, we haven't seen Steve for a little bit. Well, welcome, Steve. Before we get started today, I wanted to show you these beautiful flowers that Judy brought us yesterday, and they're from her own yard. So look at all those colors. And she said she just planted them this year, so they're like first year blooms. So Judy, thank you so much. They're really brightening up our counter for sure. And we
First
love
thing
them.
I noticed when I walked in.
I know, though, they're beautiful. I'm going to set them back up here. And today we are making fall cards with the beautiful, beautiful vintage orchard collection designed by Katie Petit for 49 and Market. And what I thought we would do is just show you the collection before we get started. Then we're going to show you what we did yesterday. So that's kind of our review. And I always talk about old TV shows because, Maggie, do you remember when, like, say, Emergency or Medical Center came on and they would show you a little clip from the week before? Because we had to wait a whole week to watch the next episode.
Yeah, that's true.
It was, I guess we didn't know any better. Now it would be really hard. So we're going to show you what Chris did yesterday in the craft along. And then we're going to make cards with this collection. But we're going to start out by just kind of showing you the different pieces of it. And I want to say welcome to everybody. I'm Kelly, and we got Maggie here, and we are at Memory Bound in Iowa, right in the middle of Iowa.
So we're going to start with the ephemera bits,
Look at
Kelly.
this. And you
Oh
know,
my
I was tempting to use those today, but I passed on them somehow. I'm going to have to use them for another project.
How many pieces are in there?
you get 96 die cut pieces for $8.99.
Wow. Has this one been dumped before?
I think maybe it has.
They
I think
have?
when we
Okay.
got it in. And then we have this
6x8 collection pack, which is paper, lots and lots of different designs.
And remember, when you have 6x8, you cut them in half and you've got card fronts. Beautiful card fronts. And then we have the Wishing Bubbles and Baubles, which are usually the first item to sell out, and I'm using those today. And there's two different chipboards, and Janet can link the whole collection so you can see everything. But here's the chipboard set. How are we doing on glare, Maggie?
Very well.
Okay. All right, this is $6.99, and it tells us we have 59 pieces.
Says it's muffled. Is mine on?
I
I don't know if mine's on.
You're on. You're good.
Okay.
You're lit. Maggie, you're lit.
She says it's muffled.
Maybe I'll move my microphone around a little bit. Here's the chipboard words.
Oh, Kelly turns and her mic gets muffled.
Oh, okay. So let me move it here. I got a high neck on today. Maybe that's it. Okay. And then we have the Vintage Orchard stacked frames, which Katie, I think inspired by Lori, customer Lori, Katie used the stacked frames on some of her cards, and they were really, really cool. I almost used them today, but I held myself back, Maggie. I don't know why. And then we have the washi tape.
Well,
Now
you were a little complicated back there.
It's
so
very complicated.
This
Well,
is gorgeous.
sorry. Here's the washi tape. Now, on one side, you get all the little images on one sheet, and the other sheet is a full sheet, which wouldn't this be beautiful? Just taking this and putting that on a card front, that would be awesome.
It's when you move, Kelly, for some reason.
Should I go like this? Here's the acetate assortment, 48 pieces.
It says, I think Facebook is having issues.
Oh, somebody said we might have issues today.
Okay, that could be it.
Something to look forward
It's
to.
definitely not us. It's got to be Facebook.
It's got to be. It cannot be us, right? Okay, and then we've got two different laser cuts. This one is the Elements. It's got several sheets, and this one is the Wildflowers. And Maggie, I'll flip them around because look at when you see them up close. They're
apples.
big and fun, and oh my gosh. There's 4 sheets. I would just punch these out, sort them by whatever they are, fruit, words, signs, and get them organized to go to town with. And then there are 3 different rub-ons. And if you're just joining us, we're talking about Vintage Orchard by 49 and Market. And here is what Here's kind of an up-close look.
Gosh, that's beautiful.
Those leaves, you guys, I love the apples. And Maggie, isn't it almost apple orchard time here in Iowa?
I would think so.
I would hope so. And then I'm using this one today. These are the Essentials rub-ons, and I'm using them because they have words, they have strips, and then they have blotches or smudgy things or just little background.
Oh my gosh,
backgrounds.
I really like those strips. I hadn't noticed those.
I know, and I didn't even use the strips, but maybe we can throw one in there.
You have one of those open back there?
We do.
Oh, we will have to try one.
Okay, and then you can get, if you want it all, you can get this has all the paper in 12 by 12. It's $15.99, and then we also have the solids, and I'm using solids 1 and 2 today.
And the solids are just that burlappy texture.
Just here, does that help if you can get up close? I guess you can see them on the front.
Yeah.
Get the
just
solids.
so cool.
If you don't get anything else, just get the solids
Yeah.
for fun fall projects. Okay, and then we have the bag. So if you are getting some, you might want to get your bag just to put everything in. And it does come with the enamel dots that you can only get in the bag. And there's the back of them. And they're we're calling it fossilized amber.
Yeah.
Which looks great with the collection.
Colleen said she went apple picking with her grandchildren, and she's going to scrap it with this
Oh my
line.
gosh. We have 2 apple trees in our yard. One of them is not very great. It does have maybe 4 apples on it because it has needed to be replanted for about 3 years, and it has not been replanted. And the other one has, it's a Granny Smith, and it has lots of apples, but we're not sure when to pick them. So Doug's mom said just go out and pick one and try it, and you'll be able to tell. So we'll have
Granny
to give it a
Smith
try.
is one of my favorite apples.
Perfect for those apple
Yes.
pies. This is the page kit, and it's hard to see it. It comes in this nice plastic envelope that you can store things in, but it does make all 4 layouts, and it's $24.99, so it's about $6 a page, which I think is really a bargain.
And then Kelly, I think Chris made this for linen or summer porch.
She did.
Did she have any leftovers? Somebody had a question about that once. Are there any leftovers at all?
I mean, there could be, because maybe you don't use everything that's actually in the
That's what I was wondering.
punch outs. Okay, I don't know. Should we show the paper? I guess we should, since we're here. So we'll go through the papers, and then I'm going to be using a few of them today. Like I said, I'm going to use solids 1 and 2. That's the only name of paper I can remember. But if I see one here, okay, we're using this one. This is called Nestled.
This is great.
We're using that one today. And then here is Apple Delight, and we're using this one because it has apples on it. We need to have a whole apple thing, like apple of my eye, something about seeds, Maggie.
I think you could do a lot with apples, couldn't we?
I think we could get to the core of it.
You're good, Kelly.
And I am using this one too. This one's called Turning Point. Wouldn't you love to just name these papers, Maggie?
I don't have time to answer. I'm trying to think of a pun for apples, and I can't come up with
I bet
one.
we'll get a few. I bet she'll get a few. Let's see. I think I just showed that one. So this is called Festive, and I am using this one. This is probably the one with the deepest coloring, and look at the back. Isn't that beautiful?
Stacy says that apples are ready to pick when they come off easily.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So try that on your
Because I
apples.
asked, Doug's mom said pick one and try one. She goes, I know you guys don't have a lot of apples, so you kind of like not sure you want to pick one and waste it, This one's called Pressed Leaves, probably because, well, either side.
You appeal to me.
Oh, that is very,
An
very
apple
good.
a day keeps the doctor away. We grew up on that
We could say
one.
something about do a craft a day to keep the doctor away.
Absolutely
pink.
adorable.
Oh, yes. All right. I knew people would come through. And this one's called Wood Grain. Maggie, this is just for you.
Gosh, that is really beautiful.
And the back of it, I'm going to flip it around. It looks like different articles, but then it's got like stains and Scotch tape marks. So
Gosh,
good
I
job,
like that.
Katie Petite. We love it. Keep them coming. And this is one, and Maggie, remind me, I have 2 packages of this under my desk that we need to get out for today because we're using this one.
I thought that looked familiar.
It does. So, and here's the back, and this is called journal cards. So basically what we're doing today is we're going to take this paper and we're making cards with it. And some rub-ons and some gems and some bubbles and bobbles.
I pick you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and then we have the solids. Let me just grab out the solids so you can see all the different colors. 1, 2, 3. This must be 4 and 5. So there's 5 solids. Oh gosh. Oh
They
my
look
gosh.
so beautiful together, don't
There's
they?
fall right there, guys. There's your fall palette. Hey, this is Peggy's colors.
Oh my.
Peggy's colors right here. Now I'll flip it over. Peggy, would these be your colors, the lighter ones, or would more the deeper colors?
The deeper colors.
Okay, so this is not Peggy's colors here. But you know what, don't laugh, but wouldn't this be good Easter colors? Or spring?
I thought of that.
You got fall on the front, and you
Oh
got
my
spring
gosh,
on the
that's
back.
beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so those
Okay,
are solids.
Kelly, do you know, I mean, I knew this because I've done it before, but do you know that if you slice the apple, you know how you usually slice it from
Yeah.
a stem to the little
Whatever that
bloom,
other piece is.
but if you slice it the other way,
What happens?
horizontally, you get a star. There's a star in there.
Okay, no, I've not done
Kids
that.
love it. So when you cut your grandkids an apple, cut it the other way and
We'll
show
have to
them
do
the
that.
star.
They're coming over this weekend.
There
so
you
maybe
go.
we
They
can pick
will
apples
love
this
that.
weekend.
Yes.
All right, so that's Vintage Orchard. Oh, and we do have a ribbon pack, everybody, that we have curated. I love
course
using
we
that
have a-
word. And it's got maybe 6 styles, and you get a yard of each, and that is out there online also.
Handpicked by the staff here at Memory Bound.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, well, are we ready to go?
We're ready.
Let's go do our rerun, not our rerun, but kind of a rerun, I guess, from yesterday. And Maggie, I'm going to turn our lights on. I don't know if we need them or not, because we're bright enough already, aren't we? Oh, it feels good over here. It's nice and cool, everybody. All right, so yesterday Chris was here, and we had a craft along, and she used the Rust and Revs from 49 Market, and she made these she called them butterflies, because look at how they're shaped. And they go on a gatefold card, so if you have a gatefold card, this is one that she actually did during the video, so it's not like totally complete, but check this one out. So this just slides up or down, and you take it off, and then you have your card on the inside, or your greeting, or whatever you might like. And then she did a Christmas one. This is all like, well, this is 49 Market also, from Evergreen Season, and she.
How fun to get one of these in the
I
mail.
know, and it just slides on and off.
I love it.
It's almost interactive. I mean, it is interactive. I'm just thinking what you could do with kids. But all right, so here's the one she made with Evergreen Season. And then Chris got more creative, and she created a card with autumn greetings from Graphic 45. So we went from 49 to 45. And this time her little slider or her gatefold closure is a pumpkin.
Oh my.
And so what she did was she made her pumpkin and then put it on a circle to slide behind. And still has that little butterfly.
Barb did the craft along yesterday, and she made 5 cards.
Oh my gosh, remind us to tell Chris.
Candy made 8.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yes.
Oh, you guys, Chris is going to love that. You know, we do the videos, and we did just surpass 1,000 videos, but hearing you be inspired by them really, really makes it's nice. It's inspiring for us.
Yes,
and
it
motivating. So she said any symmetrical shape, like here's an oval that you could put a greeting on or some die cuts. If it's symmetrical, you can do what she did yesterday, and here's a heart. And again, you'll see what she called the little butterfly, and your card slides right in between there.
Wow, that is really
Aren't they cool?
fun.
Nice job, Chris. And look at how many people were inspired to go on and make cards from that. Okay. All right, well, let's make our cards for today, Maggie. So today, like we mentioned, we're going to make cards with the Vintage Orchard collection. And because it's so beautiful, and this is our main paper. Anytime I see a cut apart, I just kind of get, I don't know.
What are the possibilities, right?
There's so many possibilities with this.
You let me know when you want to put it on the arm, Kelly.
Okay. So this has got 4x6 and 3x4s on it. A lot of times they'll just have 3x4s or just 4x6s, or sometimes they'll have 2x2s. But this paper's been sitting, like I said, there's 2 packs of it under my desk in the office because I had planned to do something exciting like this with it. And why not do it today? So I'm going to be using this paper, and then I'm using the Solids 1 and Solids 2. And I pick these out because I kind of, Maggie, this is you. You've influenced me with the blacks. So I picked this one out. This is Solids 1.
And you know, it's black, but it's not black.
I know.
It's a green black.
It's a green black?
Yeah, there's green in it. And it doesn't look like on camera, but it really does have a shade of green.
So I'm using these for matting. And now you could use cardstock for mats if you want to. You don't have to use this paper. And I picked these out because the black has got a light tone on the back. So sometimes if your cut-aparts are darker, you might want a lighter matte, and this gives you both options. And then I picked number 2 because of the color, because a lot of the journal cards have this color in them. And again, it has the darker, really pretty orange, and then it has a lighter color too that's nice if you have something darker.
Okay, I missed the name, but
Okay.
she said that her cards have so improved since our lives.
Oh my gosh,
and her
that's
friends
awesome.
tell her they're better than Hallmarks.
Oh, well, that's a goal.
That
and you reached it, so good
Yes.
job. Well, like I said, we really, and Maggie, I think you probably agree, don't you, that when you hear people have made something that you've shown them how to make, that maybe it's like being a school teacher and kids learn how to read.
I love it.
And it's very inspiring, and it makes us feel good. And you know what,
That's
you guys?
why we do it.
It keeps us going. Otherwise, who knows what we'd be doing right now this morning here at Memory Bound. So anyway, now I did the Rachel Ray thing, and I've pre-cut this sheet up because you don't really, I think you could all figure that out. Get your trimmer, and you can just cut your pieces apart. Pretty easy, pretty standard. So I've done that, but look at the back of this. I love the back of that too.
That color is gorgeous.
And if you're a local...
Kelly, question about the solids. There's 6 different solids,
There's
and they're called Solids 1, Solids 2.
There's 5.
5. And each one has a number, but they all come in the same pack.
This, you can get them individually, because we always order these papers individually, because sometimes maybe that charcoal, you want the pack, but oh, I need an extra charcoal or extra number 1. So you can always get extra pieces of the paper.
So they would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're all in this collection pack,
Yep.
or you can buy them separately.
Right, and here's 1 and 2 is what we're using today. But the other colors are nice too. They're friendly also.
There was just confusion as to they thought maybe it came in a different pack.
No, you get all 5 in this pack, or you can get, and you get 2 of each. So you get 2 of each of here. So if you're one of those people like me, Maggie, that you're like, I don't know if I want to cut this up because what if I need it for something else? It's okay if you get the pack.
And how much is that pack, Kelly?
It's $15.99 for the 10 sheets. Or you can pick out the individuals. I think some stores maybe don't carry the individual sheets, but we like to do that because we like to do projects and things with them. All right, so then we're going to add some of the wishing baubles and bubbles today. And these are $5.99. And then I found these Spellbinders gems. And this one, Smoky Topaz. And then I've got a green one here that is called Green. And I thought those looked really, I'll lay it on here so you could see it, everybody. But don't you think those are good matches? Because that's cool. Really a brown. It looked kind of gray. But I thought those were really nice. So I think between these 3 embellishments and the rub-ons.
And these are Spellbinders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Spellbinders, color gems, and we have Smoky Topaz and Green. I think that's funny, Green. And you guys, if you follow Memory Bound, you know that I love gems, and I love the honeybee gems a lot. And these are a little different because it's the same color, but you're getting, 4 sizes, Maggie, I think?
Yeah. What is interesting to me is these are called self-adhesive crystals, and these are called self-adhesive gems.
Weird, because they look alike, don't
Yeah,
they?
they do. But that's, gosh, they're pretty.
So those are the embellishments.
They're even
that we're gonna
prettier
use.
in real life.
Oh, they are, and they seem to be very faceted, so they are very sparkly or shiny. Not really sparkly, but shiny. And then we mentioned up when we were looking at this collection that I've used some rub-ons. So I'm using these sheets of rub-ons. I haven't used any of the, I know you were kind of excited about the tape ones. I haven't used those, so maybe we'll pull those out on the fly and use them.
They almost look like pieces coming off a piece of wood or something.
Oh, those? Here.
Yeah. Kathy says she wants 2-page layouts soon.
Oh, this would be a great
These
collection for a
are
2-page
just
layout.
Really, I love the looks of those.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
And look at all those words. Did you use some of those words?
I haven't used the words, but doesn't mean we can't. You never know what's going to happen, guys. Right, Maggie?
You really don't.
You really don't. Okay, and then I'm using 2 colors of distress ink. I'm using Vintage Photo and Scorched Timber. For some reason, you guys, Scorched Timber is like my new love brown. It's brown, it's dark, it turns green. I just really like it. So I'm using those 2 colors because Maggie taught me to use 2 colors instead of 1. And I'm going to show you the difference with that today.
And Kelly, you know what is cool about Scorched Timber? Is sometimes, I always try to use 2 different browns. But if you want to use a brown and a black, that Scorched Timber is
it's kind of like a black, isn't
it?
Yeah, it does. It does have both colors in it. And I guess I can show a little bit more of that. Like when something was dark like this one, I use the Scorched Timber. I've already cut these out and I have inked them because, like I said, you don't really need to see me do that. Although I haven't inked the solids. So then I've also pre-cut. Remember those solids we were talking about? The solids 1 and 2?
They almost look like pieces of fabric.
They do look like fabric. So I pre-cut them into mat sizes, 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, because all these little cut parts are 3 by 4. So I've cut them an extra 1/4 of an inch, but I should have cut one bigger because I just thought of a trick. Well, we'll make it happen. Whoops, that's upside down. We'll make it happen. So I pre-cut those. I haven't inked them, so we'll have to do a little inking, but not bad. So then this is where I'm kind of like trying to figure things out, because I've picked out 3 of the pattern papers that I want to use for my card backgrounds. So I don't really know it. I know this one is called Apple Delight, and I know I've got a couple cut aparts or journal cards that have apples on them that we're going to use this for. And then I thought both of these were good. This is Festive, and I put this aside and was not going to use it today, and then I realized, like this journal card, see how it coordinates so well with this paper? It's got the same flowers. So I decided that we needed it. And then the other one is the one with the butterflies, and it is called, what is it called? Nestled. And both sides of these would be excellent backgrounds. And this I have not really planned out very well, so be patient. Come along for the ride. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take the camera, and we're going to have a little different view today. We're going to look down on the workspace because I think it might be easier for everybody to see it. So Maggie's going to move the camera.
Hope I don't get you seasick
So just
here.
hang tight for a minute. I'm going to cut these
So
barcode
you said
strips
this
off while you
goes
do that, Maggie.
This way.
We were on our calendar, it showed that we were going to launch a Halloween kit or card kit today, and we had a Halloween kit from Maggie, but there's one, and we have the kits, and they're out there, but there's one, I think that's upside down. This has to go in the opposite end. We're going to get
I
it.
thought I did it right, Kelly.
Well, wait, you did. I'm sorry, Maggie.
But it
You got
is showing the ceiling. What am I
Um,
doing wrong?
Okay.
Does it need to be this way? Maybe this way.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. I don't do this very
Okay,
often.
now wait, you need to put this on the other end, though.
It was on that end.
There you go. Wait, how do you normally do it?
Well, this is the end I had it on. But we'll find out here.
All right, well, come along with a ride for us. And let's just say this is a Facebook problem, shall we? We'll just say, hey, it's a Facebook problem, but it's really kind of a memory-bound thing, guys. And we're going the right way. So I think we're looking good.
Okay, you are upside down.
Okay.
On the screen, so I do need to turn it, right?
Okay.
Is that right?
It looks like, yes, we do need to turn it. All right, we're turning her around. So get your cup of coffee. I'm just going to lay this paper right here because that's what we're working on. And then Maggie will get us all straightened up. But you guys did get a nice look at our ceiling, so you know.
Okay, I think we're good.
Do you need to zoom it in a little bit at all?
I think we're good there.
So what we're going to have this view today, and then what we'll do is we'll have Maggie get a phone that she can watch for comments on. Okay. All right, look at there, everybody.
Okay, so this.
Janet says perfect. All right, now you guys, you know what? We normally do things upside down, and we got to do it right side up today. So while you guys were all maybe sleeping this morning or having breakfast, I went ahead and cut this sheet apart. So this sheet, I've got it all cut apart. I've got it in piles. Like, for example, I've got this little piece right here, and I think that's going to be our first card. And I love making cards with journal pieces or cut aparts. And this card, I wanted to use this paper because you can kind of see how it coordinates so nicely. And we're making an A2 card, and I have all my card bases here. And here they are. So I've got an A2 card base that I'm going to use.
Okay, now it says the bottom is cut off just slightly. We're seeing...
And it is delayed, so just...
Yeah, we're seeing this right here, so I think we need to just...
So the choice here, guys, everybody, is what to mat it with. We're going to cut a piece out of this paper to put this on. So what I normally do is I kind of look around to see what I want for my base, for my background. And you know, this is kind of cool because it's got that same pattern, and then you could decide what you want to back it with, and it probably needs something lighter. So let's grab this piece. And we've got this piece, which might be the winner. I think that's our winner. Or we could come over here, or we could go here. See the dilemma, everyone? How hard it is to decide? Or if we want maybe more of a plain background, we could go with that right there, which really, I think that's what we should do. So now, because I'm doing an A2 card, I'm going to cut this piece out 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to slide it right here on my trimmer at 4. And I'm going to cut down to 5 1/4. And I will tell you that my cutting lines have kind of wore out a little bit. And then I'm going to cut this side 5 1/4. And I'm going to cut it down to 4. Okay, there's our piece. I'm going to set this paper aside out of our way because we're working with this right now. And we're going to use this for our background. And we're matting with this piece. Our first card we're going to make kind of simple.
Kelly.
Our first card we're going to keep kind of simple, but I do want to add a little bit of ink to it, and so I'm going to put a little scorched timber on this right here. And I'm going to use the glue press, and I heard yesterday we got a shipping notice that our glue presses have shipped, so that is kind of exciting. And we'll put a little ink on this piece. And I'm using the glue press. I mean, you can use a tape runner. If you want to use a tape runner, you just do this. And some people like, oh, you don't need a lot of adhesive. I like to use more adhesive than less on cards because somebody's going to be receiving this, and I like to make sure the corners are all hooked down nicely. So this card I will use my tape runner, and then we'll get out the glue press for the rest of them. Now, okay, so here's our choices. We've got the lighter color from solids number 2, but I think the darker color shows it off a little more. And then I kind of like to pop things up, you guys, and I kind of like to add twine. So Teresa and I were talking the other day that it's kind of hard to not put twine on a card just because we love it so much.
That's why you have to get the full roll.
Yes, and you can get a full roll. You can get the ivory, and then you can ink it with Distress ink and make it any color you want. You can get the natural. That's this color. And I have a spool just like that sitting on my desk at home because it goes with everything. And it really goes with this vintage orchard, don't you think, Maggie? Looks pretty nice with it.
Trust us. Get yourself a full roll.
Yeah, don't mess around with the 2-yard units.
Will we be getting more replacement tips? I'm assuming she
Yes,
needs...
they are coming too. They were out of stock for a while. And I'm putting foam tape on here, FYI. But they were out of stock, and they are back in stock also. And they are on their way. And they could come today. It's just a 1-day ship, but you never know like exactly when something actually went out the door. But a label was created yesterday, so we know that much. Oops, look at it sticking to my finger. Now this is really pretty, and I'm thinking this could maybe use some gems. And a lot of times gems come on these clear sheets, so you can even kind of lay them on there and see what you like. And I thought maybe we should put a couple of these little brown, I guess they're not really called brown, they're smoky topaz. And for me to do gems, I like a pair of tweezers. And I like the squeezy kind. There's 2 kinds of tweezers. There's reverse tweezers that when you squeeze them, they open. And then there's the tweezers that when you squeeze them, they close. And mine are from Mrs. Grossman's. And how many of you remember Mrs. Grossman's? They're even gooey and everything, but they're really sharp and pointy. And I've had them forever. We do have a set of tweezers from Elizabeth Crafts. That's $5.49. And they're very pointy and sharp also, and they're blue, which is kind of cool. And you can squeeze them to hold something. And the reason I like the squeezy ones for gems is because you need a little pressure to pull them off the sheet. And whoops, and that one just went flying. So if I have a gem somewhere, I think I'm going to just...
It didn't land on me.
I don't know where it went, but we had a gem that went flying. So I like to just pick them up off the sheet like so, kind of slide them to the side. And I'm just going to put a few in the centers of these flowers. Just kind of random and odd numbers, you know. And you don't have to put them everywhere. I think that just made a nice card. And I don't know if you can see it a little better there. And you know what? Maggie, I didn't do any stamping or I didn't do die cutting.
No, how quick and easy.
And I got
but
the
it's
little sparkles.
beautiful.
Isn't it pretty? Okay, well, don't go away because we've got another one here. This was another one of the cut-aparts. It just says, be you, be sweet. And I think we could probably put this on the same one. So we're going to put this, I'm just looking around on fronts and backs. Oh, look at this back. Okay, this isn't really, I plan to use more of this side of the paper. But for this one, I just think, oh, here, let's use this right here. Okay.
Janet, I agree with you. My brain cannot wrap around that opposite tweezer deal. I have to have the regular.
Well, the opposite is nice if you want to hold something, like if you're heat embossing. But if you are squeezing something and you're trying to grab it, then I prefer. So there's a place for everything and everybody, you know, guys. All right, so we cut that out of the apple paper, just that little corner, and it's got the yellow, aka fossilized amber, and we're going to ink that up. Now I could ink on my mat. I'm using one of those media mat covers, but I have this problem about getting my stuff messy, you guys. I don't want to ink on it and get it messy. So we're gonna ink with 2 colors. We're gonna ink with Vintage Photo and Scorched Timber, because my friend Maggie told me how you should combine two colors. So this is the vintage photo.
That vintage photo is a very warm brown, so it goes
It is.
really
It's good.
well
It's
with
good
that.
with this collection, isn't it? And then I'm going to take the scorched timber and just come in a little bit with that too. And if you feel like you need to go back and add some more of the vintage photo, you sure can. It all blends together. It's one big happy distress family.
Bev says the reverse tweezers work great when tying knots or bows with ribbon or
I would agree.
twine.
I think that's a great use for those. Now this one, I think maybe we should use this dark black. What do you guys think about that? I'm going to move my scratch paper, my inking paper aside. Oh, I like that. All right, let's bring in the glue press. So the glue press, the beauty of it is if you have any hand problems or arthritis or a loss of strength in your hands, this is going to, it allows you to use this liquid Nouveau glue, and it comes out fast and you don't have to really do a lot of squeezing. So, and I actually have the big tip on this one. Sticker.
I haven't used my big tip yet.
Well, I was doing larger areas and I just felt like I needed more glue coming out at once.
That ink looks beautiful on that.
I know, don't you love it? Maggie, you should tell about that new Distress Ink Facebook group that you read about.
Oh, yeah. I was on Facebook last night, and there's I don't know how new it is, but there is a group that you can, what's the word, apply to join. And it's all about Tim Holtz Distress Inks. And one of the administrators is Cassie Lynch, and she's one of the designers for Tim.
Yeah, you'll recognize her name for sure.
And you will also recognize her style because she does beautiful work. But she's one of the admins. But I think it's called Distress Inks. I'll have to look that up for sure. But I just started it last night, middle of the night, in fact. Couldn't sleep.
Oh, I think a lot of us have that issue. Okay, so I'm adding some of the wishing bubbles and baubles. So I added 2 little hearts here, little epoxy hearts, and then it says be you, be sweet, and then I added a little be kind circle right there. Now if I was going to do this over, I would probably put these, and I think I still can. I'm going to move these because I'll tell you why. As I decided, I didn't really plan, but I decided to do the be kind. So I felt like they needed to be balanced a little more. Okay, so that's our second card. Boom, done. And I think we're making amazing cards right now.
Kelly, you just got a compliment. Donna says, great cards. Kelly is so good on the fly.
We don't know if that's necessarily a good skill or not, but thank you, Donna. That's really sweet. Now this one, I thought this looks kind of cool with this paper. So we are going to cut off a section of this paper for our background. And I think we're going to cut this corner right here. So remember, we're doing A2 cards, so I'm cutting it 4 by 5 1/4. So, and I'm using the slide trimmer so I can stop at 5 1/4. Now, if you don't have that, just keep cutting and, you'll just have smaller pieces. I'm just doing it to try to save paper a little bit. So I cut my 4, cut it at 4 down to 5 1/4, and then I'm going over to 5 1/4, and I'm cutting down to 4. Oh, and we're going to look at something on this too. So this one, you could go this way. This is the back of the paper, and that looks very nice. You could go this way, which is kind of what I planned. So you can, once you cut these pieces, then you can decide how you want to make them. But we're going to use this just because I think it's beautiful. So Katie Petite, if you are watching, we just love this collection. It's amazing.
Janet, thank you. She found it. It's called Distress Ink Techniques.
Now, for something different, we did not ink this section. And we don't really even need to, well, let's mat that because I think we're going to go with solids 2 for this one. And I think we're going to go with the light color, but it's going to need just a little bit of scorched timber on the edge. So we'll put a little bit on the edge just to give it some excitement. And then you know what, Maggie, I was also thinking we could do with this collection, and it would look really good, is distress the edges with a Tim Holtz paper distressor. And I have mine. Mine's red, but the new ones are black. So all of his new tools from Tonic tend to be black and gray. It is $6.99. They last forever. Maggie, I think you have a ribbon on yours, don't you?
I do, a bright ribbon. Mary has a question. Why are you using two different sponges to ink the edges?
Because I'm using two colors, and I'll show you that here.
And the rectangle ones are what they used to look like.
Oh, that's an old one I brought from
That's
home.
a very old one. They're basically the same thing.
So all this does, it just roughs up your edges, and it actually gives it a little more texture and makes it kind of stick up more, wouldn't you say, Maggie?
Yes. I have a hard time not doing that to my edges.
I know.
But it also
love it.
soaks up the ink that way, too, better.
Gets through those fibers. Okay, and it makes a mess, too, but not too bad. Okay, I happen to have, this is an oldie. This is the old ink blending tool from Tim. And we can still get these, but we basically just sell the round ones now. So we just sell the round, and you can see they've got a little more surface on the rectangle one. So it happens to be what I brought from home. And I think we should put a little more scorched timber on here.
Okay, Kelly, I'm going to go out because for some reason I've been frozen.
Maggie is froze.
So I'm going to go.
If you're froze, probably a lot of people are froze.
There we are. No, it might have been something I was doing.
Okay, so then we have this right here. And that's got kind of with that darker ink, so you could add some brown twine. Well, let's just do that. It's really not too much flying by the seat of your pants when you do a lot of the same designs. And we're going to put gems on this one too. We'll look and see what gems we like the best. The only hard thing is tying knots when everybody's watching. You know, when you're at home, whoopsie. So I think what I'm going to do is let's just tie a knot in this one and not a bow. You don't always have to have bows, everybody.
Do you need a finger?
I think I got it. Okay, and you could definitely pop this up if you want. I'm just going to add some glue so that we have time to get our cards done today. And then, we should add a rub-on butterfly. Okay, there's a butterfly here, so I think if we put another butterfly up there, oh, there's the gem, everybody. It's on my finger, so I'm just going to put it on this card. All right, so we're going to pull out this butterfly, and so this is one of those sheets, and you can see I've used a few, or we're using a few. So it's got that protective kind of a clear acrylic piece, and I'm cutting right through that and keeping it on there. And then you can peel it off, or I guess it's a background. Then you can peel it off when you go to put your rub-on on. And why is so then you have it on kind of a clear plastic, and you can kind of figure out where you want it, and we're going to put it right there. And I noticed these don't have the popsicle stick like some of the rub-ons from 49 and Market, but Peggy brought me this stylus from Wendy Becky, and let's see how that works.
Kelly is using the vintage orchard papers from 49 and Market.
Okay, whoops. That
And
little
Kelly,
gem's
what
moving
paper
around.
were those two pieces cut from?
This one is cut from, I've got it right here. I have full sheets over here so we can show you. Okay, that one is cut from Nestled.
Okay.
We just cut the little piece from Nestled. And there's the full sheet. And we cut, here, this might show it. So here you can see what we cut out of it.
Okay.
We're just chopping. All right, so boom, that one's done, everybody. And we used our little paper distressor, which is a handy dandy tool. Boy, I got inky hands, Maggie. I got inky hands like Maggie. Or they would be painty, right?
Well, both.
Okay. All right, then this is another one that's already, it says, and all at once summer collapsed into fall, which is just a really pretty saying. And we need background paper for that. So let's bring our trimmer on here. And I think, I just don't know. You guys are, I'm sorry, I'm doing this off camera. There's so many choices that it's just hard. I kind of like this gray right here with this gray, so let's do that. And we know we need it to be 4 inches wide because it's an A2, and we're going to go down to 5 1/4. And then for me, I just flip it around. Ooh, maybe the back of that would be good. Now, if you have a trimmer like this, and I've had this for a long time, but they stopped making the little, stopped marking like the quarters, so I've actually taken a Sharpie and I've marked my quarter in half there, so it's easier to find. Saves time. Okay, ooh. So since that's gray, beautiful. Maybe we should do like an orange, or we have the light. I think maybe the dark. What do you think, Maggie?
Okay, go back to the other one.
It's okay. Here's our eye exam, everybody. We've got A, and we have B. A. Wait, no. A.
I wonder what you were doing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I like A.
Okay, and let's do something different with this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off, maybe 1/4 of an inch here. So we're going to cut it. No, we're going to take off 1/2 inch. So we're going to cut off 1/4 of an inch off the top.
We're getting mixed opinions, though.
Oh, are we? Okay, and then we're going to cut 1/4 of an inch off the bottom. So that way, and let's ink this up a little bit. I think we're going to go dark. And let's put in some. You can see when your blending tool is leaving crumbs, then it's time for a new foam, everybody.
That's a good way to say it.
You would think that maybe I would know where to get one of those, and I would just make sure I had one.
Sometimes, Kelly, even my ink pad has crumbs.
Oh, yeah.
I've had some of my ink pads for way longer.
Once in a while, we need to get new ink pads, too. All right, so we cut 1/2 inch off of this. This was a 3x4 journal card or cut apart. And we cut off 1/2 inch because we want to put it on so that there's extra at the bottom. So let's get out our little gluey.
Okay, she wants to see it before you put it down. Oh, no, that's okay. She wants to see the other side of the base mat. I think of this piece, I believe.
Piece. Yeah. Okay. So this piece we can go like this, or we can go, ooh. Maggie, what do you think?
Okay, A.
Here's A. And here was my original thought, just because of all the pretty.
I like both, but I think I like your original.
The original, the darker one? I don't know, it's tough.
Okay, Janet saw this quote. Fall is knocking at the door and asking to stay.
Oh.
I love that.
Maybe you should make something with that.
I like that.
All right, we're going to put a little twine. We left an extra 1/2 inch here so that we could then embellish this down here. Okay. My tying is not so good today, guys, but here we go.
I keep wanting to take this camera and getting closer.
Zoom in with your phone. Okay. Okay.
No problem.
So there's just another idea for you, and let's put a little ink on this.
Marianne says some of her ink pads are 20 years
Oh
old.
my! Well, that's how long distress ink has been around. So you've got originals. Let's put this on. This was a tough decision for me, because that is pretty cool too.
It is. There's something I like about this right here.
The gray.
That
Well, that's what
Squiggly.
kind of inspired me to start with. Look how fast that glue press is, you guys. You could really manufacture a lot of cards. If you have a glue press, put a little note in and let us know how you like it. And if you don't have one, give us a call and we'll reserve one for you when they come in. Now, normally I would just pop this up with some foam, and I like foam tape. And this roll used to be one of the really big rolls. Maybe we should, oh, I don't think we even have the bell. Oh, maybe we should ring the bell and have them bring a big roll so I can show you how this roll started. And the reason I like foam tape is because I like to put a lot on, depending on the project.
The great big foam tape.
And then I'm not putting a bunch of little squares and peeling a bunch off. I'm just peeling off my long pieces, and it lasts longer.
Leanne had a question about, like when you tie a bow or a knot, how you keep the twine bow from kind of flopping around. I sometimes will put just a drop of glue right
Yeah.
under the knot,
Thanks,
and that
babe.
helps a lot.
Yes, and I do that also. I'm not doing it here just because it's got to dry, and I have problems with drying. Okay, you guys, here's the before and here's the after.
Wow,
For
Kelly,
the
you
foam
do
tape.
love that foam
I
type
do.
tape.
Well, and I will say the hardest part is storing it. It's a little awkward, but I just put it upright, and you probably can't see this now on the camera, but I just put it upright and put it like right across next to my computer monitor on my craft desk. And it comes in white and black, and I have both because if I'm doing a dark project, I just use black. You don't have to, but I think it just shows less.
Black is wonderful for Halloween makes.
Yes, and we know Maggie loves Halloween, and so do I. Okay, so we've made 4 cards. Maybe we
Getting
don't-
lots of love on the glue press.
Good, good. I love to hear that. We'll make a couple more. We probably don't need to make them all today, but this was another piece. Well, I want to do a couple more things. And this is just a little rub-on, and it says thank you, and I just thought it was so darn cute. So, and it had this special little place for it right there. So with the rub-ons, I'm using this Windy Vecchi stylus, and it's big. It's got big balls on it for sure on the end, and it comes with little smaller balls on the stylus too. All right, let's pull this off and see how it looks. Oops, I got to do a little more. Okay, you can always start pulling off the backing for your rub-on, and if you notice it's not coming off, like we'll just peel that back, then just put it back down and rub it some more. But look how nice that looks.
I love how you just take a journaling card where somebody would have
it
put a
does the
date
whole
on there,
thing. It
and
does
you
the whole
made it into a
thing.
card front.
Okay, now what I need for this, I think we should put just something smudgy up here in the corner. So I'm going to just cut. I need some scissors. So I'm just going to cut off a piece of this little rub-on. And we're going to stick it right here. And let me get that stylus again. If you have a popsicle stick, you might have one from previous rub-ons, and that's what I typically have used, but you don't get one with these, but you get 3 wonderful, beautiful sheets of rub-ons, and I'm sure you have something at home that you can use for it.
Kelly, does Tim still make that? It
Oh,
was
that tool?
Yeah.
I assume
Do we
so.
still have any of those? Probably my all-time favorite tool of his, and it has
The
the
rub-on
flat
tool?
end. It has the flat end that you can lift up your clear paper. But do we have any here? I love that tool.
Well, you want to ring the bell?
Yeah,
and
I'm
have
just
somebody
gonna-
look for us.
Someone wanted to know if the little folio that you made at the convention on the calendar yet.
The folio.
I believe you had it here when we first introduced the paper. Could you look into
Oh, the folio for Vintage Orchard?
It's a long, thick bar.
Oh my gosh, look how
It's
pretty
like
this
looks
is,
like a
you
pencil
guys. I
almost,
love
and
that.
it's metal. It was a folio, and you said that you would show how to make it.
We don't have it on the calendar yet, but we will get it. Is it the Christmas one or is it the 49 and Market one? You know? I have a project that uses Vintage Orchard and one of the new Create-In albums that are 12 by 12 that I did in a class with Janine, and I will be doing that.
It was a little one, Kelly, and it
Oh.
was, you had it laying there when we showed it.
Yes, we will do that. We will have that on the calendar. It's not on the calendar yet, but we'll get it on there. Okay, now a week or so ago, I was here and someone calculated, and thank you whoever our mathematician was, viewer, but what we calculated was that this is an A7 card base and it costs 7 cents, and I ran out of A2, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this to 5.5 by 4 1/4, and I have another card base that I need. So that was kind of an aha for me, Maggie. It's like, oh well, I can just use this.
No. Okay, we probably don't have it.
We'll
Maybe
look
they
for
don't
it. We'll
even
look
make it,
for it
but
and see.
I love that tool.
So you mean the rub-on tool?
Yeah.
Well, we will look and see if we can get that.
It's kind of heavy and it's got a pointed flat end, and it's great. It's kind of, you can use it like almost like a bone folder.
Okay, so we can go black here, or we can go orange. Boy, I think that's a toss-up. I think we'll go black, but really I think you could do either, and it's beautiful. So let's get this glued on. And we are about out of time, Maggie. So, and I do want to show, whoops, I just glued my hand. So there we have a little thank you card. And I would like to put a gem on each of the little butterflies because I think that looks really nice.
Okay, Kelly, as I'm seeing your cards lay there,
Yeah.
you know what I'm thinking?
What are you
Are
thinking?
those plastic boxes that I love to put like
Oh, yes.
6 note cards in and tie a
Yes.
ribbon around?
Let's ring the bell and
They
get some
make
to show.
such a nice gift.
So look at there, we put a little gem on each of the butterflies. And I really like that.
Gosh, that's pretty.
Okay. All right, boy. We've done 5 cards, and let's make a 5x7 card.
Those clear boxes over in storage that I put like 6 cards in. There's 2 different sizes.
So this is from the journal sheet. It's right here. It's 4x6, so it's not going to fit on an A2 card. So we're going to make a little bit bigger card with it. It doesn't have any sayings. You know how some of them, like this one, says, and all at once summer collapsed into fall. This one we added the rub on. This one had with thanks on it already. Ooh, and we could put, I just got an idea. All right, we need to add gems to this. All right, so, but this has nothing on it. And, ooh, where did my phrase go that I had to put on there? Let's see if it's over here. Well, this is it. All right, so what I want to do is I think we're going to put this little gratitude rub-on up here. And I've got another little smudgy. Let's do that first. We'll get our rub-ons on. Get our rub-ons going on. Maggie, do you want to show that? Do you want to put it under here and show it? Because people have seen how we do this, and they're probably good with it.
These are the A2 clear acrylic box. There's, I think, 4 in a package, possibly.
They come in 2 widths. I think one is 1 inch and one is a 1/2 inch. So what would you suggest
yes.
for this?
If I'm going to put like 6 cards and 6 envelopes, they have, they work in the smaller widths, but maybe the bigger widths would give you a little bit more room. If you're going to do more than 6, then I would suggest going to the bigger one. But you get 4 in a package for $6.49, and nothing better than a little gift. You just put 4 to 6 cards in one of these, tie a ribbon around it, and you have a gift.
It's really nice, and people like getting cards that they can give. So I think that's a really good deal, and Janet can link those for us too, so you can. And then you tie a ribbon around them.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll even add a charm.
And that's, oops, everybody can laugh at this. I didn't take off the backing, so it'll probably work better. So I'm adding quite a few rub-ons. I'm adding butterflies. I put a little, little splot, a little kind of drippy thing. And like I said, if they don't rub off, you just put it back on. And I think maybe I'll do a butterfly. How about here?
As Kelly was talking this morning, you know, you can make these cards, but if you want to, you just take this same exact idea and pattern and make a coaster.
Exactly. And you know what, everybody? We did do that.
Oh, it's a great segue, huh?
That was perfect. All right, we're going to use this So Very Thankful on here, but what I was thinking about doing was putting it on a little piece of, just maybe a little piece of this. So, whoops. I think we're going to put it on right now, and then I'll cut it out and do what we're going to do, because I laid it on there and it's stuck, and that's okay. So it says So Very Thankful, which is really nice for the fall, going into Thanksgiving, that season. And we should, maybe if you're thinking about telling somebody how much you appreciate them, or your family, or just the season itself. This is a really skinny one, so I want to make sure I get everything, and it's very small. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to cut this with my scissors because I want it kind of rough. And this is a little too straight here, because it kind of makes it kind of fabric looking, I think, cutting it this way. And then we'll ink it up. And then that's going to go right there, and we're going to need some foam tape underneath of that. Oh, you know what that needs? That needs a rub-on underneath of it, Maggie. Just a little. Okay, how about this? So I'm going to put it here, so I just felt like it needs a little something like kind of coming out of it. So let's do this rub-on. We're starting to make a mess, I can see. So now when I stick it down, and it says So Very Thankful. And that's 4x6, so it's going to go on a A7 card. And we have a couple choices for our backgrounds. We could go with that color, which is Solids 1. We've got the dark color, or we have our orange color, Solids 2. And you know what? I wasn't planning on it, but I've got all this paper left over, so I say we cut some of this for a background. Because we've got this piece
You've
left.
got plenty of room on there.
We do. Let's do this. So I'm going to cut. So this is a 5x7 card, so it needs to be 5 1/4. Oh, not 5 1/4. Sorry about that, guys. 4 3/4. Now I'm starting to doubt myself, Maggie. By 6 3/4. Put a little ink it up a little bit. Sometimes just going like this just takes that edge. Just running your foam right along the edge there.
Janet is leading a little discussion here about.
I love it.
She puts a tiny drop of water in her glue that she uses in her glue press.
She does.
Yeah, and they're just talking about how you know, just a little thinner.
Just to thin your glue.
Yeah,
glue
just
down
a tiny
little bit.
drop.
That's a great idea. And sometimes I think if glue sits, it does kind of thicken. So maybe if that happens, or and depending on the tip that you're using, I'm using the big tip because I'm not doing anything really fine right now. Oh gosh,
wow,
this is
that
gorgeous. This is going to be so pretty.
That just riched it up.
Okay.
Oh, it's
gosh,
beautiful.
isn't that pretty? And you know what? I'd probably put some ribbon or something across the top. All right, well, now we had another 5x7 piece on this paper, and it's right here with the apples, and the apples are really kind of cool, I think. They look, the inside of the apples and just how Katie drew them. So what we did before you got here. We took it, cut it out, trimmed it down a little bit, put some rub-ons, tied some twine, and this is actually on a coaster. And we talk about coasters a lot, and Maggie's a coaster queen. But it starts like this. It's kind of like if you go to a bar or a restaurant and they give you something to set your drinks on. It just isn't printed. And these are these 59 cents?
The
They're
rectangles
awesome.
are 59, and I believe the squares and circles are 39. I had to laugh, Kelly, because when I go into, we were in a brewery last weekend, and she set that coaster in front of me.
Is it all you could think of was what you were going to do with it?
And it was like, I have to have that. I might need it.
So you kept the coaster?
I did.
Well, they're great memorabilia. If you are doing scrapbooking, from your trip, I think they're a great memorabilia to have. Now, before we go,
cover it, and use it.
Oh, you were going to totally cover it up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we go, there was one thing I wanted to show, and I have to put these rub-ons on there before I can do that. So I think everybody's going to agree that apple makes, and it could have been a card, like Maggie said earlier. You could do cards, or you can do. Let me move. We got some stuff sitting around here. So I have these two pieces left, and my plan was just to put rub-ons on them, but I wanted to show you the difference in the inking. And of course, I don't have to put the rub-ons on before we do it, but it's one of those things that you're like, oh, I think I need to do it. So this circle that says Hello Autumn, happiest on it, because there are people. How many of you just love fall? Because a lot of customers come in and say, oh, it's my favorite season. And it is for a lot of people. So let me peel this back. I've got to get that G. Okay, now here's something that might happen to you. There's a little bit of my F still on there, and it came off. So all I have to do is line it up. Has that ever happened to you, Maggie?
Oh, yeah.
I just line it back up, give
It
it a
works
little
pretty
rub,
slick.
and there it is. So it's back. I should have had you putting one of these on while I was doing this, Maggie, so we would have it done. Okay.
I think it's fun to watch. It's kind of therapeutic. Kind of like
Watching.
watercoloring.
Maggie's in a daze. Well, I do, while we're doing this, I guess this has nothing to do with what you just said, so I don't know why I'm mentioning it, but I do want to tell everybody that participated in our 10% off for our 1,000th video. I do want to tell you thank you, because we appreciate it a lot. And we're finishing up orders today to get them out to you. I got an O, Maggie, that won't come off. There. And this says, how beautiful it is to watch the leaves grow old. Isn't that sweet? And this was on the rub-on, the Essentials rub-on. But I want it to be perfect. Okay, all right.
Sometimes I think when you're using those little balls from a stylus, there's not a lot of contact.
Yeah, I think maybe
Space.
a popsicle stick would be a better thing. Okay, I'm going to move this aside. Let's move all of our cards. And then I have these two pieces, and they are from, you can see them right here, how they changed. So this went from just the pears and the tree, and now I've got, it says Good Friends and Hello Autumn. And this one had the little bird, and he's right here. And if you're using a scrapbook or something, you could just journal on there, put the date. And I put the rub-on there. And what I wanted to show you with these is the inking. Oops, I want a clean sheet though. Here's one. They're both kind of the same color, so I just wanted to show you the difference in the ink if you just do one color versus doing two colors. Whoops. Forgot I need to be right side up. So I'm going to start out with the vintage photo, and I'm going to put it on just on this. I'm going to put it on both of them. And my ink pad is very inky, so I'm getting a lot of ink on there. And I don't think I'll re-ink it. I have re-inked my ink pad. So I'm putting vintage photo on both of these so you can kind of see they're going to look alike.
Chris said these last two would make cute tags.
Oh, gosh, yes.
I'm
They
trying not
definitely
to
would.
use the word cute, Chris.
That's her new thing. Okay, so there's what they look like with just vintage photo. Let's get a clean sheet so you can see what they look like. Now, I learned from my friend Maggie about using 2 colors. So we're going to come in with some scorched timber on this one, and then you'll see what the difference is, 1 color versus 2. And hopefully it will all work out, and you can use 1 color, but Maggie, ever since you talked about using 2 colors, I don't know, I really like it, and the distress inks blend nicely.
And lots of times I will just use it like along the edge.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, so then it looks kind of almost like it's been burned a little bit.
And you could always go back if you want with some more of the vintage photo. You can come back with some more of the scorched timber. Oh gosh, I just want to keep inking. Okay, so let's flip it over again so you can see the difference. So the one with the bird has got scorched timber and vintage photo, and then we have just vintage photo on the one with the pears. So there's using 2 inks versus using 1. So, and I'll turn these into cards, but we can probably, well here, I'll show you the cards that we made today. We can turn these into cards very easily, and we have another cut apart here that I've inked. I'm going to put the little hello on it and some splashes, and we'll turn those into cards. But here's what we made today with the Vintage Orchard, designed by Katie Petite for 49 Market, and we used solids 1 and 2. There's solids 1, solids 2, and we used, let me reach it, Apple Delight, if I can reach it over here. We used Apple Delight for backgrounds, and then the one I wasn't going to use, we used Festive for backgrounds, and then the third one we used, it's the one with the birds, and I think I've buried it, I guess it's the one with the butterfly, nestled. And I have a lot of paper left over here, but you don't need to see that. So what we've made was we made the 5x7 card that says "So Very Thankful." And we've got this little card here. We'll just show them all to you. Mm-hmm. And then we've got thank you, and this one we added gems. And you know what? We need to add some gems and some wishing baubles to these. That would fit in here very nicely to add those. Thank you. And then we have an all at once summer collapsed into fall. And we have BU. It's kind of like a Tim Holtz. What is his saying about you do you? You do you. This is BU, be sweet. And we added the little be kind. And then we have this time of the year is simply magical. And we added our gems from Spellbinders. And then we have a coaster that we made with.
Look at that, all in one morning.
And we've got 3 more. I'm going to make 3 more cards. I have 3 more pieces to make cards. And all of that was just with a few sheets of paper, some card bases.
And put it in one of these. I'm going to just take one out so they can see. Alina says, like, if she's got a dark paper that has a white core, she will just run a dark ink along the edge just to get rid of that white. Oh,
yes. And that's... here's kind of an example. This has got like a white core, and so she's talking about just doing this, just to get that off.
Yep. And it doesn't even have to show up.
Well, here, let's look at this side. It makes more sense because you can kind of see the white, but if you go around the edge, it's gonna make it nice.
So, can you imagine the delight
Do you want to put those in?
That somebody would have if you were to hand them one of these?
So we would grab our envelopes, and then Maggie's brought in this little plastic box, and you put your envelopes and your cards, and you seal it up, and then tie a ribbon around it, maybe put a tag. Was it Chris that said these would make nice tags?
Yeah, and sometimes I will just glue that right onto the front.
On the front?
Yeah, and tie the ribbon around that too, but it's so pretty to see the cards in there.
Do you think you can do rub-ons on the plastic, Maggie?
I don't know.
Well,
should we try?
Let's try. Let's try seeing. We're going to try putting a rub-on the plastic because we don't know if it works or not. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. So what? I don't know which rub-on to use.
How about something a little thicker?
Like this, like Splendor or...
Oh, something that
about-
does have some color behind it, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So like we said, when you're doing the rub-ons, cut out what you're going to put on, because if you try to lay your sheet here and rub on, you're going to get everything around it. All right, and then we peeled the back off, and it's kind of sticky. Let's just put it on here. I don't really know if this works or not, but I'm wondering if I should
Alina says she uses rub-ons on wood.
Well, hey, I thought maybe I have my
Maybe
bone
even the
folder.
end
I
of
don't
this
have a
might-
bone folder with me. Can't believe I don't have that in my go bag. I don't know. I would think it would work. Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's it. I'm getting rub-ons.
It does work.
Oh, nice.
So then you could put your cards in. And I mean, you could add a butterfly. We're not going to do it because I want to do it really bad, Maggie, but we're not going to because it's time. It's that magical time. But I do want to say, I don't know, do you want to take this off and we'll have our going away?
Okay.
I don't know which way it goes. I got a lot of garbage,
This way.
a lot of waste basket stuff to pick up. So anyway, I just want to tell everybody thank you for watching us today. We're spinning around for you right now.
People are saying hostess gifts.
Oh yes.
If you're visiting somebody that's a little older in a assisted living, they can't get.
because they like to give. People like to send cards, and wouldn't these be beautiful?
Yes.
They're beautiful to send. They'd be beautiful to put in that little gift pack that you talked about.
Oh my gosh, Kelly, just holding them like that
Aren't
are
they
so pretty.
Very fallish. And you guys,
Yes.
it's almost September 1st, so we're getting close to fall and everything. So a huge thank you for joining us today. Maggie, thanks for all your help with the video.
You're
and
welcome.
Hope you enjoyed the cards from Vintage Orchard from 49 and Market. And really the whole collection is beautiful. And
You
we'll
have
be back-
inspired me. I'm going to grab some of these papers and go home.
Maggie's inspired. Tomorrow, Katie's going to be here, and we have something that we haven't had for a while. Many years ago, we had all kinds of little golden book kits, little albums. You take a golden book and you turn it into a mini album. And so Katie's got one that's just adorable. I don't think it's here, or I would grab it and show you, but it's Old MacDonald Had a Farm. And it's got die cuts in it, and it's super cute. And we'll have that tomorrow morning for her to show and tell you more about. So until then, have a crafty day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for joining us.